Antony was Erik ten Hag's flagship recruit in his first summer at Manchester United, chasing him for months and reportedly paying £85 million. His future at the club now looks bleak. For a long time, Erik ten Hag was understandably criticized for having an apparent blind spot with Antony, retaining faith in the Brazilian even if his performances hardly justified it. But no longer is that the case, with these past few days outlining his status on the periphery at Old Trafford. With Rasmus Højlund ruled out for a few weeks due to injury, there was an acceptance that it probably meant Antony would be restored to the starting 11 having lost his place. But rumors of a surprise first Premier League start for 19-year-old England under-20 winger Omari Forson began to circulate ahead of the visit of Fulham on Saturday, and those mutterings turned out to be accurate. It means by the time of United's next Premier League match, away to Manchester City in this weekend's derby, more than 2 months will have passed since Antony last started a top-flight match. A player who cost a reported £85 million in 2022 will have gone 9 weeks without a league start despite being available the whole time. Antony did come on in the unimpressive 2-1 defeat to Marco Silva's side on Saturday, but the timing of his introduction felt more like Ten Hag making a point to the player than it did a genuine attempt to change the game. It was during the last moments of 9 minutes of second-half stoppage time that Antony emerged from the bench, managing a single touch in just under 120 seconds on the pitch, which combined with the ignominy of seeing several others play in the position he was signed to occupy. Forson started the game on the right wing, Amad Diallo came on for him in the second half, and Alejandro Garnacho, moved to the left because Marcus Rashford was deputizing for Højlund, had previously made that position his own over the past couple of months after a match-winning performance against Aston Villa on Boxing Day. It was nothing to do with fitness, Ten Hag said of Antony's lack of game time recently. Antony is fit but we have many options on the right side where we lack in other positions due to injuries. The form Antony is in we all have seen and he has to step up. I see it in training, but also Omari and Amad Diallo and Garnacho deserve to play. United's fourth-choice right winger is now someone who cost them £85 million less than 2 years ago. It really is both a damning indictment of the club's recruitment record and of Antony's performances. In January, Ten Hag suggested Antony's off-field issues were the root cause. The player was given time off in September after being subject to accusations of violence against 3 women. He denied the allegations on Brazilian TV and hasn't been charged in relation to any of the claims, though a report in The Guardian last month outlined police investigations were still ongoing in Brazil and the UK. Antony returned to the team in October and Ten Hag thinks he's not been the same since. We're not here to speculate about very serious accusations, which make football matters appear very trivial by comparison, nor the impact of them, but most would agree Antony's form was underwhelming long before the allegations first came to light in June. To understand what Antony should be offering to United, we have to look back on his time with Ten Hag at Ajax. When the manager was discussing the player's disappointing form last month, he outlined what he'd previously considered Antony's core strengths. His effectiveness, his end product was very high at Ajax. Also in the Champions League, his level was very high, Ten Hag explained. So, I'm sure he's capable of doing this by bringing key actions, key passes, the crosses, the finishing. His end product in Ajax was very high. He should return to those levels. Across 2 seasons at Ajax, Antony recorded 46 goal involvements in 82 games. That's better than 1 in 2, which is a reasonably impressive record when taken at face value. It's also worth noting that none of his 25 goals for the club were penalties, and all but 2 of his 21 assists were from open play. He was certainly someone who regularly made telling contributions and was a threat in attack, with his 0.64 expected goals (xG) plus expected assists (XA) per 90 across all competitions in 2021-22 good enough for 10th among all Eredivisie players, minimum 900 minutes played. Similarly, His average of 0.78 non-penalty goals plus open play assists per 90 was almost identical to that of Cody Gakpo, 0.77, that season, and bettered by only 5 players from the Eredivisie. Antony also recorded the 6th most crosses on a per 90-minute basis, 4.2 among the same players, and only AZ's Zakaria Abuklal, 4.5, took shots more often than the Brazilian, 4.1. Obviously, having shots isn't a measure of quality in itself, but the frequency of Antony's attempts and crosses does provide an indication of how busy he was in the final third. In fact, no Eredivisie player was involved in more open play attacking sequences per 90 across all competitions in 2021-22 min. 900 minutes than his 8.1, further highlighting just how active Antony was.